this announcement for all the faint-hearted. You might want to dip before the jerks get started. If you like frank conversation, then pull up a seat. If you like the unexpected, then you're in for a treat. But you're not a captive, there's no ransom to pay. You can just hit the X if you don't want to play. Don't like what we do, then you can hit the X. Don't like what we say, you can hit the X. Don't want to join the crew, you can hit the X. You don't have to stay, you can hit the X. This is not a hostage situation, you can hit the X. This is not a hostage situation, you can hit the X. This is not a hostage situation. Situation. This is not a hostage situation.
You're embarrassing yourself. Go to bed.
Well, was that the one that you guys were talking about?
Oh, yeah. That was it. Yep.
Okay,
Yep,
good.
that's the one I like.
Perfect. I'm glad I got it.
And Pearl comes sliding in.
No, I've been here for ages. I wasn't watching the end of the trial coverage that I was behind on and sneaking in at the last moment, I promise.
No.
I'm
Is
finished.
everyone's
I've just
done?
finished watching the Leilani coverage from today.
Are you
And I'm
stunned?
astonished, absolutely astonished that Billy Joe is not going to be a witness for either side and couldn't even be bothered to be in the courtroom. I quickly went over to Voices Behind the Wall to check to see what she got to say. Oh, and she is not touching it with a barge pole. Cher, you're disgusting.
Of course. TJ has a good theory on why.
Well, I think that both sides know that she is would be a horrible witness. And the defense doesn't want her because they didn't want her to be cross-examined by the prosecution because she's such a liar and because she's such a horrible witness, or, you know, she has no credibility whatsoever. And the defense wouldn't have had anything, there wouldn't be nothing good coming out of what she had to say. So I think both sides were like, nah, we'll pass. And I think the reason they rest, because honestly, they didn't have anybody, to come up there and speak for her.
I said on day one, when people said, what do you think the defense is going to be? And I said, the defense is going to be, nah, prove it. Because that's all they've got.
Yeah.
I don't think they could find anyone to say anything good about her.
No.
Yeah. And the defense.
I don't want to cover this for too long, but because we're not a true crime channel, it's just that I immediately came in talking about it because I just finished watching it. But it struck me.
We were planning on talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's been talking about it.
The defense struck me as the way that they were very hostile to the first, the older black policeman. They were obviously going in there. They wanted him to be defensive and combative. They could say, and he wasn't. He was very gracious and very calm. And then they wanted to see whether they could get a rise out of Danny and make him seem volatile and bad-tempered, the sort of person who could lose their temper with the baby. And they couldn't do that either. So they were really, all of their straws were being clutched away. And they really didn't have anywhere to go with it. No.
Danny, I will say, you could tell he was annoyed with the defense and the prosecution, the prosecutor, he was more okay with. He was annoyed with the defense, but he kept his cool.
Yeah, he didn't come across as the sharpest dude there, but
no, he didn't.
He did come across as honest. I mean, he told all his bad habits, and
he didn't try to make any excuses
Right.
for his alcoholism or his drug use. There were no excuses. He recognized that he was irresponsible and that he was dependent. And that speaks good, that speaks well for his chances of sobriety. And everybody who spoke about Quentin said that he loved Danny and Danny
I
loved him.
know.
Yeah.
Even the babysitter said that, and the babysitter's daughter, that he would holler for Danny a lot. And I didn't know this till the trial, that he had a child with Leilani.
All
Yeah,
right. We're
that's the
going.
baby.
Apparently, they're seeking Tits McGee. There, she's right there. She's right under you, Deets.
She's right under you.
Well, I think the
Okay, that sounds weird,
babysitter.
but nothing weird,
I think the babysitter had the most impactful statement.
Yes.
I think that that's going to carry a lot of weight.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think they're going to really take into account what she said.
I think they'll dismiss the friend.
Just going to say, I'm so back in the rails because she was just like from out of left field. At first, I just thought that she was an old friend with a bit of a grudge. And then we got into the whole sort of the Bible and the candle and the seance. And he came to me and he said, Mama, whatever the hell her name was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That went left so quickly.
You know what? I thought it would, though, because she was, whenever somebody is too eager to talk and tell all these stories, which she was doing with the prosecution, I had a bad feeling when the defense did their thing. It was just going to go. I had a bad feeling about her, and
I knew that there was going to be a fight between her and the lead defense counsel because he's a very argumentative man, which is quite right. That's his job. I find him particularly annoying, but I do think he's doing a good. She can't argue she didn't have good representation because he picked apart every single word anybody used. But the minute he stood up, you know how people settle their neck sort of from side to side and sort of puff themselves up? She got that look of, I am ready to physically fight you. Before he even opened his mouth, I
Yeah.
knew it was going to go down.
Yep.
You mean the soup and
Yeah.
tango look?
The what?
The soup and tango look.
The soup and
Yeah.
tango.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be the one.
Oh, and also too, I think that the jury did not like Leilani at all.
Her
That face of hers, that face of hers was bad.
I would have thought, TJ, maybe if there was a woman around, maybe because it was two dudes and they didn't pay attention, but her face needed to be corrected. Somebody needed to tell her to fix her face.
Yeah.
Back when
It's
she was
not-
11. Back when
And
she was
also-
11 would have been a good start.
Yes.
Right?
And also too, the jury didn't like that defense attorney. I don't care what anybody says, they didn't like him because
Sassy pants, as Deets calls him.
he was an ass.
He was.
I think,
And-
unfortunately, that very first day when he came in guns blazing at that older black police officer, he was very gentle and very helpful, wanted to sort of just, he wasn't pushing her over the top in any way. And this guy came in guns blazing. And if I'd have been on that jury, I would have immediately thought, why are you treating this officer like this when he has done nothing
But
for
his
you
job,
to come at him like that? He's just doing his job.
he did this
Right.
with everybody, though, all law enforcement detectives. He did this with everybody. I noticed one day he kind of chilled off with that because I don't think it wasn't coming off good the way he was trying to poke holes in everybody's story. I mean, these people were doing their job and you were trying to find fault in them doing their job.
Well, and two, if you look at it as as a defense attorney, he didn't do Leilani any justice at all. He really didn't. I don't think that his defense was very good at all.
Also, when the expert witnesses were on there, and he just goes up and goes, "Well, I don't really know. I'm just going to take this opportunity to learn this and that about this." He's not really proving anything that's going to help her case, in my opinion. But I think that kind of stuff annoys the heck out of a jury. That's like, come
Yeah.
on, let's get this moving. And
Well,
you're
and
just
him
putting it back.
not presenting any case at all, and just rest there at the end without providing any witnesses at all. All that did was, I think, just, maybe this is a plan to make it easy to come back with.
An appeal.
An appeal.
Yes.
Yeah. some
Has
people
anybody
think
ever
that.
seen this before?
Yes, it's been done. It's been done quite a few times before.
And that was my first thought. Oh yeah, that's what he's doing, because she'll get an appeal. I believe it. She will.
How effective has that been in the past, Pearl, with what you've seen?
Not particularly. I don't think I've yet to see a. I can't recall immediately having seen a not guilty plea from it. But it's a convenient way of going forward to appeal. But of course, I'm saying all this as somebody who shouldn't know anything, although I'm interested in the law, which is how I got, and cases, which is how I got into this sector of YouTube. Apparently, as I'm not American, I don't have a right
You
to
don't
have
have the
an
right to an
opinion on
opinion?
anything that's going on, because apparently, you in America, you don't sort of just look into something that you're interested in and learn about it. You either learn it naturally from being born there, or you know nothing about it because you're a foreigner. Because according to B. Tim, I shouldn't know anything because I'm English. In the same way, no doubt, he would say I shouldn't know anything about Japanese porcelain or
He's such a
English
weird
Baroque music.
Is he English? He doesn't seem to know.
I'm
much.
sorry, B. Tim, that you're such an incurious dolt that you can only look at things within your sphere of existence. But the rest of us tend to follow things that we're interested in. I mean, like the Depp Heard case, once that had been covered in a UK court and then a new case developed in an American court, it was obvious that if you were going to follow both cases, you would look into the differences and exactly what was relevant, what the law said on each particular aspect and how it changed between the two countries. This is not complicated. I know about it the same way as anybody who's interested in legal cases knows about it.
Look what.
Yes, my opinion visa obviously needs renewing.
Yes. Yeah.
It is about that time of year, Pearl.
Well, I don't think that she's going to get off at all. I think that she's in the deep South, and I was telling Soup this earlier that, if there's any mothers on that jury, and her being in Georgia in the South, no, she's going to get convicted, and I don't think it's going to take very long
I think
either.
one of the most heartbreaking things for me was everybody saying that he was the sweetest child and he was the easiest child. Yes, he was very talkative and he wanted attention, but all of them said that the older child was actually more difficult.
Yeah.
So you've got the older child temperamentally is more difficult, and obviously you've got the baby. A baby's by its nature more demanding. I mean, they always are. Even if they sleep a lot, you've still got a lot of things that you physically got to do.
Yeah.
And he's there, the middle child, the sweetest one. And she just had an innate dislike of him.
It's so sad. What do you
really
guys think?
Sad.
What do you think now that we've heard most of the interviews that were done with police and stuff like that? How does that make us reflect on what we watched happen outside that house on YouTube?
Oh wow,
I've got really big feelings about it.
Yeah.
Right? They were on to it, like, you got Bullhorn Betty out there saying that they don't know what the hell they're doing, and she needs to tell them how to do their job and all that stuff. And They were on it from the get-go.
Exactly, Eliza. They were already on to Leilani, while you got Bullhorn Betty, Dolly Vision with his stupid son, that crazy lady that the bee was in with. I can't remember her.
Cher hanging a
Eileen.
banner on that
Cher.
fence.
Cher. Oh, Lord, Cher. I am so infuriated by her. All the things that she put out they were straight from Leilani's mouth. Leilani's talking points. When she said they should look into the babysitter. When she said, why aren't they examining Danny? Why aren't they going after Danny? And now, of course, we know Danny was actually working with the police pretty much from day one. He handed everything that he had over. They had his phones to go through. He was willing to be in that hotel knowing that they were recording him all the time. He did everything that he could. But meanwhile, Cher was on here every day saying they want to find out where Danny is. They want to find out what Danny has done. Why aren't they checking out where Danny was?
There was one thing that Cher...
Sorry, Josh B just gifted 5 memberships, and if you got one, make sure to thank him.
Thank you, Josh.
There was one thing that Cher got right that shocked me, because everybody thought it was a lie. That picture.
Which one?
That she showed of Quentin and said was Quentin.
Yeah.
With the American flag at the FBI.
That was real. It was?
Yeah.
It was. But part of the problem there was that you had 2 people almost notorious now. One supposedly an ex-FBI professional, though she was only a weapons handler. And crime sleuthing herself. Between crime sleuthing and Jennifer Coffendorfer, they managed to absolutely mangle the facts of whether that was Quentin's remains or not, and help create this whole mess. Crime sleuthing really thought that she was doing something by trying to make out that that wasn't the remains. And Jennifer Coffendorfer, not knowing any different, just gave her hypothesis of what she thought it was. So neither of them knew any facts.
Right. And people were saying it was a dog. People were saying it was a dog, and it really was. It was that agent's way of honoring Quentin and not shipping him off via FedEx, but actually, wrapping the box and driving him there. And I just thought that was
beautiful. One of the things that has really impressed me through the whole of this case has been the incredible care and respect that all of the law enforcement people gave to Quentin, and a love and respect that really was lacking from his own mother. When they said that they had a huge image of him at the site so that people could be reminded of who they were looking for. And the way that they treated his remains, the way that they were carried, just everything. They took so much care searching for him, and when they found him, so much care with his remains. It was really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
but when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, that was true. Everybody called that a lie, and it was true. So that was the thing that really shocked me.
Well, like the Glare said, though, Cher getting anything right is rightfully shocking.
Right.
It's one small facet in a whole shitstorm of the way that she got attention and profited financially off that whole case. Let's not forget, there was a banner hung on that baby's house advertising Cher.
I will never forget that.
And not only did it have Cher and her partner's face on there, but also Cher's father's face, a convicted murderer.
That was the tackiest thing I have ever seen in YouTube. I mean, girl, did none of your friends, anybody say, girl, you don't do that. That is so tacky and corny. What is wrong with you? And it said, subscribe to Voices Behind the Suspects. I mean, come on. Or Behind the Wall, I call it the Suspects.
No, we know it's Voices Behind the Suspects, but she pretends that her name is Voices Behind the Wall.
Right. Because if you're a suspect, Cher is tripping, falling, breaking her damn neck to defend you. She's like, you're guilty. Look, let me put you in a nice shirt, put you in a nice setting, and interview. She is so weird.
And when she encouraged them to grab the signs that the protesters had got that said justice for Quentin, and we had the absolutely monstrous sight of Billy Joe and Leilani holding these signs shouting justice for Quentin, and now you see what's happened in court. I just can't get over their sheer nerve.
Oh, I know. I know. Oh, AMAC's been a member for 10 months. HOA member reporting for duty. TT, I don't watch her either. The last time I watched her, and it wasn't long, she had that little feller with the tank top. What's his name?
You're
T-Rev.
talking about T-Rev.
All he needed was sitting on a Honda Civic, and the look would have been completed.
She's
I mean,
such
to
a
be
little
honest,
fella.
those two seem a natural pairing.
He was such a mess up there. And you got Cher. Anybody that's hated Cher's like, well, I want to give him a chance. So, like, what's your story? And then it was unsupervised come up there and just wrecked it all. And I loved it. He rage quit.
He did.
I just highlighted this one just because I wanted you guys to see. Oh man,
Oh, sorry.
I just wanted you to see the name.
Chicken water and dingleberries.
All right, that's all.
It's what's for dinner tonight.
Dree has been a member for 6 months. The Jerks, the Merry Little Jerks, and Grandma Sherry has for 5. I think Dree wants to hear the Jerks.
Well, let me go before you hit that. Let me also mention Grain, member for 8 months. Mac Talking Smack, member for 10 months.
Chasing.
Josh, I'm going to get there. Josh B. gifted 5 jerk memberships. Josh B. a member for 5 months. Tiny Dancer is a new member. And Chasing a member for 12 months. Says
A year.
HOA has lots of violations to deliver. All right, I got them all. Now you can play it.
Oh, is it up to me? Okay, let me go get it. Y'all can keep talking.
I don't know whether I've got the wrong end of the stick. Has Clara got a kitten now as well as Clubber?
Oh, here comes we for 12 months. Official side piece. You are. I put something special in your inbox. Wink, wink.
Chicken water and dingleberries wants Pearl to know that they forgot to add the magic bread.
The jerks, the merry little jerks, were jerks. The jerks, the merry little jerks, were jerks. The jerks, the merry little jerks, were jerks.
I got to interrupt Eliza that time. It was my turn. Woohoo!
I always do that
So
to Sid.
excited.
Because every time I go to hit it, then she starts talking. It's just a thing we do.
I need to know what the name is of Clara's new little kitty cat.
Please pull up Glaire's.
You got Clubber and who?
Let me find it. Let's see.
Elizabeth Lander says new sub, Tanga. New sub to
Elizabeth.
Tanga.
Thank you.
Everybody should be subbed up to Tanga.
Yes.
She's been throwing out some fire shorts.
All right.
Shorts on fire.
Community. Oh, hold on, y'all. Let me show you. Looky.
Oh, it's a little tabby.
Look how
Oh,
cute.
they love each other.
Oh my gosh. It's got its little paws around his neck.
Ivan. His name is Ivan Drago.
Welcome to membership. Casey.
That's adorable, Glare.
Stop it right
That's adorable.
meow. So what
Not
do
going to look like such a tough guy with a big bad dog that loves kittens.
It's always the tough guys that really have a soft spot for kittens. So what do we think tomorrow will bring in court?
Are they actually going to do the closing?
I think they're going to do closing arguments because today they were going over working out jury instructions. So
Yep.
I think they're going to do closing arguments, do jury instructions, and send it to the jury. And I really hope that by tomorrow night we have a verdict. Wouldn't that be good?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I really want to hear. I really like this judge. But
I did like her, except for all the breaks.
Never seen so many breaks.
Right?
Every time I would click on, shout out to Dietz because she was always behind, so we were never without, some type of content on it. But every time I clicked on Court TV, there was that seal. And they're on break again?
They took
I have
so
to
many
say, the
breaks.
Karen Reid trial had a lot of breaks, and that judge was far more annoying.
Yeah, I like the judge. I like this judge. I thought she was good, and they didn't have a lot of sidebars either in this case. There was only like a few, I think. Are we fighting over comments again?
Yes, we
Which
both did
become
the
the
same
same
thing.
one?
Dietz, hit me up. Let me know, and I'll see what I can do for you, darling.
Yeah, well, twice jurors fell asleep. So that was weird.
That could have been really dangerous because if they had managed to sort out that issue and they got a sleeping juror, this is just going to be another grounds for appeal. They either had to get them on the wake-up system pretty darn early or get rid. It's a very dangerous situation to have and expensive. I mean, these trials just cost such a huge amount of money. Nobody really thinks about the amount of money that goes into it.
Right?
It's phenomenal.
I've got one more thing. I want to ask everybody what they thought of Paul, Leilani's brother.
How old was he? How old is he now? Was he a minor then, or
I think he's only like 21
currently? So
but
he would have
Bugsy
been like
says, I
maybe
miss
19
Paul.
then.
I miss Paul. Paul came in like a wrecking ball. Look, he said, I was sitting I got stopped at a train and I rolled a blunt. We figured out, God, what did he call those rolling papers? Anyway, Paul did not hold back on anything. Yes, he was very immature, but he did come in and
I found him to be truthful. I don't think he was lying, so that was a good thing, coming out of that family and all. But
yeah, he was. Sometimes he was funny.
He's still got a grudge over the fact that he was owed pizza.
Right? That was funny.
It was also hilarious when he came back and he'd taken his jacket off, and underneath he got his AutoZone badge and vest on the stand.
Paul was a character. He really did wake up the jury because they were falling asleep, and then here comes Paul, and Paul's like, "Looky here, everybody wake up. It's party time."
I think part of the problem with the jury going to sleep was some of those interviews were incredibly hard to, not only hard to hear what she's saying and all that, but hard to hear with the other noises going on. I don't know if it was a fan or air conditioning or whatever.
Sound was terrible.
Yeah, it was really hard to hear them. So you had to like strain. It's kind of with that white noise going on. I could see how some of them fell asleep. There was a lot of those interviews in there.
It was tedious.
Oh, I didn't know that. Somebody's saying he's autistic.
Oh, I had no clue. No, I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I just thought
many years
some
of
of the
experience
personalities.
has taught me that if you want brutal honesty, someone on the
That's
spectrum will
for
supply
sure.
it for you.
Right? That's true. That adds credibility in my book.
Maybe that's why he was so honest. I have no clue. I just thought he was young and maybe a little silly.
But that also explains why he's still holding a grudge about that pizza they promised too.
Yeah, Paul, he wasn't happy about that.
Right?
I thought that it was the main thing about the interviews for me was Leilani's seeming conviction that if she shouts something loud enough, it will no longer be a lie.
Yeah.
The histrionics were quite something, and obviously learned behavior. That's something that she's done for years and years, and it shuts people down. She's learned that the people around her will decide they just can't be bothered to listen to it. And even if they think that she's wrong or they know that she's lying, they'll just move on. And she thought she could do it to the police.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think she thought she could intimidate witnesses with those faces. I thought, bitch, you are not intimidating anybody anymore. Those days are over. I mean, you can try that in jail, but here in the courtroom, it ain't working. Because she was mean mugging everybody. And even whispering F that. I think it was. And then she got mad when Danny was on there. She whispered to her attorney, I could read her lips. She said, he's pissing me off. Well, nobody cares that he's pissing you off.
Right.
This ain't about you.
Well, it was about her, but
well, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
About
it wasn't
justice for Quentin.
That trial wasn't being held for her pleasure.
Off.
That's for sure.
Yeah. She looked constipated, cracking. She just looked pissed the whole time.
Well, yeah, and like times where you would have thought that mama would have been emotional, it just was not there. When they talked about how what all happens at the landfill and the difficulty in locating the remains and the condition of the remains, nothing from her.
No,
nothing.
Even
no emotion whatsoever.
No,
just
the police officer cried.
Person on stand described his foot and was very sort of trying to get you to orientate what you could see, saying like, this cut is going down from the ankle inside the foot and this is the toenail, that section. And she managed to squeeze out 2 tears. She did an awful lot of wiping her dry face.
Yeah.
But actually just 2 tears. That was all that she could manage to squeeze out.
No, Heather, Billy Joe was not in the courtroom. I don't think. No, she wasn't in there.
No, she wasn't, which is why people thought that she would be a witness.
Yeah.
Because the obvious thing is, obviously, if you're going to be a witness, you can't be in the courtroom while other things are going on. And then to find out that she's not a witness, I would have thought the very least that she could do for her child and her grandchild would have been to be in that courtroom. Selfishness runs in the family.
Some of the testimony I heard, it teared me up. And that wasn't my baby. And she was just emotionless. I didn't understand it.
Nope, she wasn't. She just didn't have any emotion.
The Oragel story, before we got into all the different versions of the Oragel story that she trotted out, very early on when they showed scenes, the crime scene photos, sort of inside the house. I say crime scene photos, actually, photos of the house when they first thought he was missing. And they showed one of the bathroom, and there was that big thing of Ambisol,
Yes.
which is essentially the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
What?
Well, just oops, sort of might have been, might have thought about the fact that you already had something like that in the house before you tried to tell the police.
Oh.
Before you were out of the house.
Yeah, I agree, Kirst. Why is the courtroom empty? Where's all the people that were so outraged in the beginning for justice? Yeah, none of them.
Oh, yeah.
I was surprised that there wasn't a packed house for that trial. I really was. There was hardly anybody. Did they not allow the public in?
That's a good question. I was about to ask.
The public were allowed in because one of the people who's regular in Deetsies, who's got an incredibly long name, Elvis and Claus is part of it, but I can never remember the whole name, was actually in the courtroom.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So it wasn't that they weren't allowed to be. It's just not very many showed up. I'm surprised. And a little disappointed.
Some people are saying no, they weren't allowing people. I don't know. They said no.
Claus was there.
Claus was there.
Well, I think I heard the judge say that it was open to the public.
Yeah, I think when she was talking about whether or not the plug was going to be on camera, whether he was going to be recorded, and she did say that it was a public trial, so that was part of the argument with it.
But yeah, Cher didn't cover the court case at all, and other people who were very invested in the notion of tragedy, pimps, and justice just covered it from a distance. Why travel when you can make your money just sitting there?
Yeah. So what else has been happening on YouTube, ladies?
I gather that Six Up's reign of terror continues.
Right? Apparently, leaving a comment of concern and offer of help is the worst thing ever.
She's out of control.
It got her threatened with a hit from the mob. Her and Ert stating facts got her on the list for the ghetto mafia is now looking for him.
I love that picture of her. That's
Jen
good.
Wick.
Are they safe here in
I
China?
love it.
So who wants to give the chat the rundown that may not know? Does anybody not know what we're talking about? Do we need to do a history, or does everybody already know?
I think probably 70% know, and then there's some that's like, what are these jerks talking about?
People
There's
are
a
like,
lady in a coma, and she's writing hateful things and pretending to be other people. That's it.
She is updating social media, making community posts, editing community posts.
She's communicating through her keyboard. It's reading
Okay,
her.
so Dietz does want a summary.
Okay.
Sorry.
Pearl, why don't you take this one? You are so much.
Oh no.
I just do it.
Okay, there is a creator called Queen OG, and it has been obvious for some time that there's something going on with Queen OG. She has aged 10 years in the last year. She is talking in circles. She's confused. She's always come out with some extreme stories, so that's not particularly new, but they've reached a level of extremeness and disjointedness that has become concerning. Now, I know some people's opinions of Six Up are that she's just some sort of angry, self-righteous person. She gets very angry about certain things, and that comes from a place of righteous anger and concern. And it's quite often easy to misinterpret that if you don't know her. But she also, all these people who say, why don't you reach out privately? It is a big deal for somebody who has to protect the boundaries of their own sobriety to get involved one-to-one with somebody who is struggling. So she did the thing that she thought was the most correct thing to do, which was to very kindly leave comments that said, you look like you're struggling. I know what it's like. I've been there. You need to reach out and get some help. And she gave the information. She left those 2 comments in Queen OG's live stream at the start. And at first, Queen OG pretended like she didn't really know who they were aimed at. And then she sort of passed over them and didn't really sort of connect with them. And then later on, she did a separate live and she really kicked off big style about it. She said the most horrible things about Six Up and Six Up's behaviour and accused Six Up of things that had never happened. And that Six Up had never actually sort of, even at her worst, had never been in the situations that OG was accusing her of. So, of course, Six Up does a live talking about it all, talks about what motivated her, talks about her own experience, talks about what she can see, the problems that she can see. And in the time that from that live finishing to the next morning when Six Up got up and the rest of us had already seen what had gone down, Queen OG had apparently slipped into a coma overnight. And her husband was now communicating with Six Up and everybody else. He wanted everybody's details. He was talking to lawyers. He was going to spend the life insurance on suing you all to oblivion. Which is amazing because, she just slipped into a coma. She wasn't dead, but apparently he was already making plans for the life insurance. Which, if I was his wife, I'd be quite concerned about that.
Yeah.
And then we had just so much. Then there was posts on her community wall that were allegedly from her attorneys demanding that Six Up and Earth get in touch with her.
Can I add something in real quick?
Please do.
I want to add in that this husband claims that he knows nothing about social media. He doesn't have it. He doesn't know, but he just was wondering why she would have went to bed and not put on her oxygen mask. So he went to her computer and saw what was open, and he just happened to see all these things. And then he just happened to know how to make a community post and
how to get into the Discord and how to DM in the Discord and terms
later
of service.
Into TikTok and Instagram, and I don't know about Facebook, but
editing comments.
Yes, commenting under lives. He had time to watch lives. All this is all right after she has just slipped into this coma.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to make
something. London girl said, "Wait, what?"
Yes.
Hey, y'all, going to have to rewind this wild ride. Well, OG London girl, you're not too far behind. We just started on the fake coma. Deleting community post. Yes, Archangel. She was while pretending to be her husband. She and being in a coma. I'm using air quotes. You can't see them, but I am. She was able to write long dissertations on her community wall, up under comment sections. She was able to be in her Discord, dropping pictures of some random lady in ICU that was not her, forgetting that she had already used that picture a while back for something else. And yeah, she's now.
Oh yeah, she was able to, while in a coma, or her husband, air quotes again, changed her name on TikTok and
Yeah,
some social media accounts.
blocked me.
Oh yeah, blocked and waved
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Right. Bye.
Bye. Sorry.
I love the fact that the guy said that he didn't think that she would survive, but if you could all write some nice stories about her for her children to read, and don't give up your memberships, and also her children were going to be making merch. And I'm just thinking, between that and you being concerned about what you're going to do with the life insurance, I don't know whether I'd close my eyes in bed with you at night. You seem very financially motivated over my survivability.
And what kind of kicked this off was her, well, gosh, I want to say it was probably about 2 weeks ago. She did this live where she was going live to talk about Purple Phoenix and show like all the receipts of why they have this beef. Well, she came on that live looking like a hot mess. Apparently people said stuff to her. She was twerking. It was a lot. It was a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, a lot of people were talking about it. Like, what in the heck? And then she came on another live and is going to do a redo of that live. And she's talking about having low oxygen. She says low oxygen. She's suffering with low oxygen. So it might appear like she's drunk or confused or this or that, but it's not that. It's low oxygen, where she then, I can't make this stuff up. I mean,
No,
it
we
seems so
can't.
ridiculous to even be saying it.
It does. I know what you mean. When I went live last night, me and Pearl, me trying to tell this story, I felt like I was all over the place because it's one of those stories. It's so
It's absurd.
It's absurd.
It's absurd. Sounds like I'm making it up as I'm going along, but all this happened. So then she's like, "Oh, you don't believe me? Well, why would I have this, a pulse oximeter? Why would I have this if I didn't have low oxygen?" And then she claims that her oxygen has been regularly in the 50s and 60s. It did go as low as 23%.
Not a chance in hell.
That's not a real thing. Then she also, because like people don't believe her, so then she gets up and goes and gets one of those oxygen can things that you can get at sporting goods stores or Amazon. It's for like hiking when you get up into high elevations and stuff. If you need a little boost, she goes and gets that and quickly hops up and gets it. She's got low oxygen right now, but she hops up and gets it, comes back, and then remembers that she's supposed to have low oxygen. So then huffs on it.
And yes, this is pre-coma deeds. Yes, pre-coma.
This is all before the coma. And then she huffs on it and then proceeds to be talking, just like I'm talking right now. Anybody that had low oxygen in the 50s or the 60s or even the 70s, I'd go as far as to say the 80s. When your oxygen's setting that low, you're going to have trouble speaking. Your speaking is going to be labored. Mm-hmm. You're going to struggle. It's a chore. So people didn't believe her and she got mad. And I think it was after that live that she fell into this devastating coma.
No, Deets. She is still okay, I see the quotes there. She's still pretending to be in the coma. Yes.
Oh, is she presently still in a coma?
As far as we know.
Okay, I wasn't sure the current status.
While she's in this coma, air quotes, she's hiding her YouTube channel and then she unhides it, changing the name on her TikTok, writing emails. Let's not forget she wrote Earth an email. It was crazy.
It was the same.
Husband.
It was the same one as was posted on her community wall. Y'all, that post was so long. It took 3 screenshots to capture it all. 3 full screenshots, no overlapping. 3 full screenshots. It was insane.
And then she would come under the comment section of Six Up's live. And it didn't matter who commented, she would be like, and it would always start out with, "This is her husband again. This is
I am a real person.
I'm a real person." Let me remind you all, Six Up did not do a live about OG until OG done that live about her saying some awful, disgusting things about her.
And not just awful things about Six Up's past, but threatening her and Ert's life, and also threatening that she could fit them up.
Yes.
Get someone to plant drugs on them and get them to end up in prison. Just the most bizarre, sick things.
It was, Fox. It was crazy. And people.
And then now people, the other people are saying like, "Oh, you shouldn't talk about it."
Yeah, there's people that are mad, y'all. There are people that think that we're crazy.
But it shouldn't get called out.
Yeah.
But
we should just let her continue that behavior and nobody say anything. And, I think it was Six Up that said on her live, if somebody was choking, would you not reach over and give them a Heimlich or try to help or call for help if you couldn't help? I mean, but so many people, they know, they've seen it too, but they're just like, "Oh, but she's going through a hard time." We know. We'd like to see her get better.
But in the meantime, in between time, ma'am, what you don't get to do is threaten lives and then threaten to plant stuff on people and get them hemmed up. You're doing a lot of sick, and then you're using your children. First of all, I said,
"Oh, we forgot to say that." Go ahead with that.
She lied and said that her son, her 14-year-old son, his friend, came across Six Up Media's and Earth's video. And at this time, Six Up hadn't even done a live about her. Came across the video on YouTube and then came to her son and said, "Why is your mommy not on oxygen? I thought she was really on oxygen." First of all, that never happened. Stop. No kids are doing that. Her child's friend, he didn't come across her video, but she is doing that for a sympathy ploy. We see that a lot. And then, okay. She also edited a post to make it sound like Six Up's live caused her to self-harm. And that's why she didn't put on her oxygen that night, because she wanted to, you all get the drift. And the husband, air quotes here, is going to find the people that bullied her into not putting on her oxygen and sue them. I kid y'all not.
TJ, it's saying that your device is not connected, darling.
There is no way. And I think that's another thing that needs to be addressed. Hey, YouTubers, content creators, whatever y'all call yourself, channel holders, stop using your children when you don't get your way. When you are backed into a corner, stop saying things like that. My child this, my child that, when you know damn good and well your child did not come across that video. And then she wanted Six Up. Hey, Vicky. She wanted Six Up to call her 14-year-old son and tell her son what a piece of shit Six Up was. Mm-hmm. You want complete strangers to talk to your son, huh? About something that never even happened. Now, what if Six Up wouldn't do this? Six Up ain't going to talk to anybody's 14-year-old. Nobody's a minor on here. But what if Six Up would have called your bluff and said, get him on the line? He wouldn't have had a clue what you were talking about, would he, OG?
Welcome to Membership Center.
Hey, Center, thank you. I get sick of YouTubers doing that. Look, you're going to get challenged sometimes. And when you are lying about oxygen, as much as I hate the word trigger, it does trigger a bunch of people to question you. Like, ma'am, that's not possible. If your oxygen levels are in the 50s, ma'am, you're not on a live stream twerking and talking a mile a minute. That's what sent her off the rails.
Wade Frosty also reminds us that her husband pieced all of this together while driving to the local hospital with his unconscious wife and his children so he could save $500 copay.
Yeah.
That's their story.
And he managed to work from 11 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, get the kids to school while she is allegedly in a coma in ICU, telling people she's probably not going to make it. Now, let me preface this by, you all know by now, it wasn't her husband. Her husband is probably none the wiser. He probably ain't got a clue what's happened the last 3 or 4 days. It's her. It's her.
Wait. Her town raised $65,000, was it?
400. 400,000.
We is such a troublemaker. Look at her.
Also, you all, if you didn't know this, in her community wall post, she is one of the founding fathers of the internet that you know today. So she manages to write, or the husband allegedly, all of these wonderful things about his wife while she's over here dying in a coma.
The chat has corrected me. It was $650,000 they have raised so that she can sue Six Up and into oblivion.
Oh, wait, I missed that. Okay, I thought you was talking about to the kitty sanctuary. Sorry.
Oh, no.
All the way into oblivion?
Just from her town, her local town. So the local town has all gotten together, heard this story, are so outraged that they donated $650,000. Odd for a town that has like 3,000 people, but I'm just saying. They must really love her.
There are people that just because they don't like us, they are going to purposely, you can't make this shit up, defend her lies because they don't like us.
Oh no, cry more.
Okay. I would be embarrassed to be one of those people. Like, you don't believe it. You don't stand on this, but you're only going to do it to spite somebody. Boy, girl, go spite yourself. God.
Actually, you're wrong, corn dogs. She did start a cat thing. Huh. It was called 21 Cats, I believe.
21 cats?
I believe that's what it was called. But it was a long time ago, like 20 years ago or so.
But right back in the original post from her husband, in the opening paragraph, there was already the beginnings of a get out clause. If this had gone slightly better, she'd probably be back already, because he made this big thing of saying, but she's a medical miracle, you know, and she'll probably bounce back with no problems at all and be back on YouTube. The problem with that is going to be, you just recently showed a photograph that you claim to be you. I mean, we know it's not you, but you claim that it's you. And you said that all the hair had been shaved off. And the person in that photograph has a tracheostomy. So your makeup skills are going to be slightly challenged when you make a reappearance. You're going to have a bald head and a trachea scar.
TT sent a super sticker, says, love you girls, and Six Up has done nothing wrong but to reach out.
Yep, that's it.
I agree, TT. Thank you for the sticker.
And if she didn't like Six Up's comment, look, she could have handled that in so many different ways. But to put yourself into a fake coma, now that's a new one. I've never seen anything like this. I know of one YouTuber who faked her death, Sansaray. I can't even remember what happened with her, if she came back or not. But the faking the coma because you got some pushback on your oxygen story, and Six Up gave you a comment about there's help. I've never seen anything like it.
I thought it was really bizarre that this husband spent so long talking about her achievements in life like it was a eulogy. You know, she's not actually dead yet, Guy. What are you doing?
Oh, and she asked, I don't know if I mentioned this, y'all. She asked in her community wall post where, you know, it's supposed to be the husband and she's in the coma, to not cancel your memberships. And if you could, write nice things about her in the comment sections so he can put them on shirts for her children. Yeah.
It was going to be bye.
It's the only one I know.
Yes, very strange. Very, very strange. And of course, unfortunately for the people involved, there are quite a lot of people in this sector who either have direct experience of being on oxygen or have family members who are reliant on it. I mean, I don't know whether you want to say anything, Eliza, but it's really insulting, I think, to use this argument that you're confused and you're drunk because of low oxygen, when there are people who can present themselves perfectly well, link all their thoughts together, explain something well, who are reliant on oxygen. You are not the only person out there to have those, well, if you have those sort of issues, and I think there's a big question mark over that. And then, of course, the whole, the use of a photograph of somebody in a coma, well, actually on an ECMO machine, but let's just use the term in a coma because that's the term that you're using. And you've taken a photograph of a screen showing it, which makes me think it's a still from some sort of video.
Yeah.
And you've done that deliberately so people can't reverse image search.
Right.
Which is quite smart, and lawyers often are.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to reverse image search that one. Although I don't believe it's her, not even 20 years ago. And let's just think about this logically, folks. How many of your women, how many of your all's husband, if you were in a coma, would take to social media to write
immediately,
paragraph after paragraph, comment after comment, edit,
and sound exactly like your wife?
Yeah. I mean, would your husband
Not
beat up
mine.
your community wall post?
No.
Not mine.
No, it's madness. As I've said to you already, I can't even remember when it was, but it's sometime this week when my sister was on life support before we had to make the decision after they told us that she was not going to survive, and we had to make that decision to withdraw life support. For those 2 weeks that all that was going on, all the days blurred into one. I don't remember when we went and got anything to eat. I don't remember how clothing was organised, sort of who was going to be there, just taking turns to sit by her bedside. The idea of doing anything, like going on social media, even for the briefest update, just boggles my mind. It's sort of, you're in shock. You've got the whole hospital situation that you're dealing with. You're waiting around to get information from medical staff. You're sitting there. It's a blur. It's just not believable to me.
Not any little bit of it. And I've really thought about this in great detail for whatever reason. For the people that are feeling some type of way, I can't relate. I don't understand it. I am more offended by her lying like this than I would be people speaking out against the lie, against the emotional manipulation. But there are actually people that are offended that not just us. There's a lot of people that have something to say about this.
Some of the hypocrisy is at the level of legendary. People who made 2 or 3 community posts, jokey community posts, suddenly having a huge conversion under somebody else's community posts and saying that this is all too much. People who spend their time making videos criticising other people, suddenly saying nobody should be criticised. It's just for real. You're making yourself look foolish.
In my opinion, yeah. And some of these people, don't get me wrong, got a lot of respect for it. Smart people. I'm baffled by this one. This one truly has baffled me.
When she started out, she was so much fun. Do you guys remember that?
She was.
Like, she was such a breath of fresh air around here.
Yes. Really enjoyed her content back
She
in the
was
day.
brilliant. She was funny. She was sharp. And I don't know what happened, but it was really sad to watch.
It was low oxygen.
Yeah. Stop. And let me remind y'all, we got a crazy.
Eliza, for once in my life, I was trying to be serious.
I can't stay serious for long. That's how I handle crazy stuff. Humor.
We had gotten an email from her months ago. I'm going to say back in February.
Because of my outrageous behaviour.
Yeah, Pearl.
Yeah, I did a terrible thing, and I'm sure when you hear what I did, you'll understand why my life was threatened. OG was in another, I'll say creator for want of a better term, waster would be the term I'd go with. Anyway, she was in some wasters live, and she was saying that the jerks had been in her Discord and taken stuff out of there to spread around. And I wrote on my personal community wall, not the jerks community wall, just my personal one, at Queen OG, could you please explain to me how I managed to take something out of your Discord when I have never been a member? That was it. And oh boy, I had about 15, 16 replies. She did a whole load of wheelchair shaming. She hoped that dogs would rip me apart. Just incredible stuff. And then after I'd said, I will no longer, whatever you say, I'm no longer interacting with anything that you have to say about this, she sent the War and Peace of emails to the Jerks joint email box, in which she talks about her mafia connections and how we'd end up sleeping with the fishes.
Oh,
and I wish I was joking, but I'm not.
No, we still have it. I didn't even
It's wild.
read
It's
the
really
whole thing. It was probably a whole book long of how horrible we were. Something about that damn Discord. Something about a costume.
So were you
Halloween.
in the Discord? I was never in her Discord.
No, I never was. Never went in there once.
I was in there. Lolita was in
Lolita
there.
and me. Yeah.
And Soup. And I got blamed for taking something out of her Discord. She kicked me out. I wrote her an email, told her I didn't do that. She didn't believe me or whatever. And she said she took a vote and they voted me out. And I'm like, well, I didn't do it, but I'm not letting you know that so that you'll let me back in, because I wouldn't come back in after that. I didn't want to be like accused of that or people to side eye me or whatever. So I was not interested in being back in. But yeah, it was, you know what it was all about? Her wanting Pooh to win a stupid Halloween contest that we were doing where everybody won. Everybody was a winner.
We were quite happy for Pooh to be in a section and win. That wasn't the problem. It was just a philosophical point of, if you have an actual costume competition that real people are entering, including quite a lot of people's children, can you really say that an image of a Pooh dressed up is really a costume? I can't believe I'm even saying this.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty. What she was really pissed about was Purple's Halloween costume, which she did a great job
as Hopi.
As Hopi. I took her picture and put it on Hopi's background, that Hopi had for her lives. And I sent it to Purple just as a, hey, this, really cool. And that's the picture that Purple posted. That's what she was mad. She was saying that we cheated because I put a background to Purple's picture.
But Pooh wasn't even upset.
In the actual costume. Her hair was colored and,
she acted, though, as if it was done to her. Pooh wasn't upset.
Right.
It was her that was up. It wasn't even.
It was so dumb. It was just so dumb. I'm just telling you that's how
we never did a Halloween costume thing again.
Never again.
Never again. But
it was so much fun.
Y'all are mad about no more Halloween.
And we gave away so much money, and it was such a good time. And it was just kind of. Then after that, we never had the heart to do it again.
So if y'all are mad that we don't have a Halloween contest anymore, Queen OG is to blame. I'm just saying.
Yes, it's her fault and only her fault.
Yeah.
We had that first year, we made such a big thing out of Halloween. We did all these imaginary costumes for people who were like characters in the community, both creators and also some true crime aspect, people who'd sort of moved over into being on YouTube. We did all these costumes and they were funny. Some people had, didn't like some of them. You can never please everybody. And then we had it open for people to actually send in images of real costumes for Halloween, and that was going to be a competition. We did all of this time and effort and prizes.
Animals.
And it got into a big argument. Even animals, yes. We had animals in costume. And it came down to this stupid debate about an image of Pooh in a Halloween costume. And they won anyway.
And the person, Pooh, wasn't even making a big deal out of it. It was Queen OG.
Yes.
That's what made it so weird.
Super weird. She'll deny that she did that, but those that remember know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she was talking about it in other places, which, of course, why it got discussed. It wasn't to do with anything in the Discord.
Right.
But the idea that we would go out of our way to rig the competition so Purple could win, what?
Yeah. Purple of all people.
Yeah, wasn't we Frosty's little puppies in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wee Frosty as the doctor that was treating her dog as the doctor that was treating Hopi. I nearly did myself an injury the first time I saw that photo, because not only was it a
funny.
great photo, but what it referred to was just hysterical.
It was
Oh
well
yeah, I
played.
remember
Well
it
played.
now. God, that's
Yeah.
been a while back. But
That was
Hopi
back
going
on Google Play.
live. Hopi going live from the hospital, but her dogs are barking in the background, wanting to go out.
This
yeah,
is, but you know what? Queen OG has topped that now because that was so epic. Hopi with the dog barking at the hospital. That whole thing. But now Queen OG has outdone her.
the doctor.
Social posting while in a coma.
But
I
yeah,
mean, I really did think nothing would ever top the story of when Hopi had her unfortunate breakdown, and they sort of had to corral her in a local shopping centre because she thought she was a horse. I didn't think anything would top that, but this does top that.
it's new.
Yep.
I've been here 5 years. I've never seen anybody fake their coma and write on their community wall like it's a diary and threaten people with the mafia and lawsuits and tell us they're the founding father of the internet. And
You know what she should do, Soup?
what's that?
She should kill herself off on here, like people do, and just take a minute and have one of those YouTube resurrections and come back.
Yeah.
With a new character.
Yeah.
But
The
you know
evil
what's
twin.
strange? I was
The evil
thinking this the other day. She came out of nowhere with no history. And yet she's been involved with the internet for so long. Even if you disregard the facts about the founding of the internet, she's obviously been on the internet in one way or another for a while. She didn't spontaneously come on here and have an issue with Bullhorn Betty. That was something that she'd picked up over at least months, if not years. But she apparently came from nowhere, and it just makes me wonder, where was she before here?
I
Yeah.
think
Who
she
was
said
she?
Twitter.
She
Did she not say
says
Twitter?
she said Twitter, where she got involved with Bullhorn Betty, or just say no to Butthurt Bullhorn Betty or something. But yeah, she kind of just showed
I
up. Yeah,
think she
created
started
the
out on Twitter.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's what happened, Pearl. She created the internet. What are you talking about?
I have this hunch that wherever the cat rescue community hangs out on YouTube, that there might be some stories back there.
She's with
Maybe. She does love her kitties.
Yeah, she does love her cats. $400,000 to stop. Oh, she's cured diseases, y'all. I forgot to tell you that. She has cured diseases.
How did we
stopped
forget?
COVID.
She discovered the cure to the coronavirus in cats. How did we forget to say that?
There's been so much. I should have took notes.
She went through medical school and then went to the Silicon Valley.
Created the internet. She was raised in the ghetto by a single mom. Then she was a mafia
With
princess.
the ghetto mafia princess.
Some people watch too many movies, y'all.
And don't forget about the government cheese.
Yes, government cheese. Yeah.
Yep, she'd eat that.
Yeah, right. Lady, you've just watched too many movies. Put the movies away, okay? And the device.
Oh, she's an immunologist.
Immunologist, PhD, DHD, the P to the Y to the DID, all the D's.
The D to the R to the G to the...
All right, y'all. I gotta get off here. My little one needs me, but
she has to.
No, I don't.
I have to ask you, Soup. How's your bite?
Better.
Good.
I got bit by a spider, y'all. and I almost died. No, I'm kidding.
Hey,
The spider wanted
Of
me.
embarrassment,
for
maybe.
real though.
I was like, I know I haven't been around much, but I totally missed this.
Yes, I got bit by a spider, and it was bad. It was touch and go there for a minute. No, but I did get a fever of 102.
How was her oxygen?
Yeah, it was good.
Oh,
They-
good.
The oxygen was fine.
Good.
But I have never been bit by a spider like that.
I'm glad you're recovering.
Dree, almost. I'm going to become a part of the They Want Me Dead crew. Where is Vicky? Vicky knows about the They Want Me Dead crew. There are people on YouTube. They're so dramatic.
Yes, she's a medical miracle. Yes,
Yes.
Mazikeen.
And I was able to go live, talk to my friend. Yeah, this is this is Soap's husband speaking. Pay no attention.
It's a real person.
This is the start of superhero arc. She was bitten by a spider.
Right. All
The
right.
wasp
With
better
that,
look out now.
I'm out. Y'all have fun.
Good night.
Yeah, Archangel
Bye,
ate
Sue.
magic. Soup ate magic bread. She's getting better.
Yeah, that's what she should have done. Just slapped a slice of magic bread on it.
Right? Would have healed quickly.
Magic
Speaking
bread,
of magic bread,
enchanted tea that I used to have.
speaking of magic bread, I heard that Ziggy was given a whole load of gift cards from appearing on a different channel, and the Dollar General
Really?
one was not able to be used, and she was not happy.
She got bogus gift cards from a YouTube creator?
I
You
don't know
gotta be
whether they were
kidding.
bogus, but for some reason it could not be used at the checkout. That's
Huh.
all I can say. I don't have any other facts other than that. But
Wow.
she was not happy because you know that she loves a freebie, and not to be able to use it was quite the disappointment.
Did it happen at the Dollar General by any chance?
It happened at the Dollar General at the checkout. The person
Oh,
on
no.
the till said they could not put the number in from a picture of it. It had to be
Well,
the
how
actual
much was
card.
it? $5?
I don't know.
Tit said she was not happy. She wouldn't have spent so much if she would have known.
Do you know how much the gift card was for, Tits? Do not even make that joke, please.
Cracking asses, that's her fupa.
I know you're the funny one, but that's not cute.
Nobody knows how much that card was supposed to be for. Did she not say?
Stop it, Six. Six is saying the same.
Yeah, I've heard a few people saying that.
Seriously, I dread to think that that could even be possible. Please, no.
Apparently, Cat's Eye, she tried to use a picture, is what they're saying. I didn't see it, so I can't really
She had
say.
the image of the card on her phone, and she wanted them to type in the number on it, and the person on the till refused to do it.
Well, you would think they would. Don't they know her there? Does she carry
I would
notes?
think they know her. She practically lives there.
That carries no weight, huh? That she's a daily shopper? Sometimes twice a day? That gave her no extra privileges. She must have been very disappointed. Oh, she was rude to the workers? Oh,
When she came out, she was going on about how they were just too lazy to do it.
They were too lazy. The people that had a job.
Zippy would never
Wow.
act like an entitled brat. Stop. Never.
Calling the people that actually have a job and manage to show up on a schedule. That's rich. Calling them lazy. Interesting.
Jobs are for the little people, don't you know?
Right. I hate when people are rude to customer service workers. It really pisses me off.
Yeah, waitressing was one of the toughest jobs that I ever had. I mean, I sort of done to raise money when I was at university. I did that. I cleaned. I babysat people's children. You know, sort of anything where you could get a little bit of money in without committing to an actual regular hours job. You know, because when you've got to get papers in and stuff like that, you don't really. It's difficult to commit to a certain amount of time every day. So you do these sort of jobs. But waitressing, God, people can be vile. They really, really can.
Yeah, yeah. I worked in customer service for years and years and years. One of the worst times is the holiday time. Christmas time, people lose their religion. They will be so rude to you. It's awful. Awful.
I bet the days after the holidays when everybody's returning stuff is a nightmare.
Yeah, my business didn't really have like where there was returns. We never really had to deal with that, thank goodness. But it was really, really big up into the holiday. But it wasn't really kind of items that people return.
I'm
I
with
just
Tits
hated how
on
mean
this.
people were.
Sorry, darling, carry on.
I was just saying, I just hated how mean people were. Some of these people, you've seen them before, they were nice, but all of a sudden, like, the sweet little old lady just turned into, I don't even know, just a witch. It was horrible.
It's amazing when you think of some of the creators over here who are the most irate about other people's behaviour. One of them abused a service worker by throwing her drink back at them,
Right.
and another one
Right.
threw nuggets. It's like, get a grip. It's only sort of, it's a drink and some chicken nuggets. There's no need to completely lose your cool.
Who threw nuggets? I missed that one.
Voices off Queen Bee's panel. Voice for the Voiceless. That's
Voice
that
for
one.
the voiceless?
Yeah.
Oh.
Apparently, the first time it came, it didn't have a sufficient number of nuggets in there. And then they were going to give her extra nuggets for free. But she was so irate that they hadn't been able to serve her properly that she threw them back in the person's face. And somehow thought this was a
Whoa.
great story to tell. And that she
Whoa.
had
She
some
thought
sort
that
of
would make her
victory.
sound like something?
Yeah.
Oh, it just makes
Bonkers.
you sound like a horrible bitch. Sorry, but
Yes,
that's
Lindsay Lee
awful.
says it's a real accomplishment to be banned from your local McDonald's.
Right? Way to go. Well, you're real big now. Wow.
Oh, does she just go by Ange now? Big Ange.
Six Ups wants nuggets now. Right? The manager paid for the free nuggets she threw.
I would give her the nuggets. If she turned up at my window, Jen Wick, I would give you the free nuggets.
Well, I am running out of gas. I don't know about the rest of you.
I'm running out of gas. It's a sort of, it's almost between watching these trials and the sheer madness that's been going on people's community walls. And the thing is, I know that even as I leave here, I'm going to be going over to a channel and listening to them talk about what they saw at the Delphi trial today. Yeah, too much going on at once.
Kraken is full of gas. She
Well,
would
I'm
like
glad
you
that
to
we threw this together today because we did like last minute kind of throw this together.
know. Yeah.
We're gonna have to start doing this more often. This was fun.
We do.
Yep.
Do we want to play Cracking's advert, given that she's talking about her nervous gas?
Yes, I
As
think
a
this
sort
would be
of-
perfect time.
We'll go out with Cracking's own advert. We've also got
Pearl?
a request for the
Okay.
tits advert. Yes, I've seen it. Let me just
Okay.
get this one for Deets.
And
The Jerks are sponsored by the great taste of Tits McGee's Dreamy Desserts, because everyone loves tits. Our desserts are made with only the finest vanilla bean extract, natural fruit essences, and luxurious dairy cream. Juicy citrus, ripe bananas, rich roast coffee, and delectable chocolate. Because everyone loves the great taste of tits. Put a little jiggle back into your life. Tits McGee's Dreamy Desserts, because everyone loves tits.
We love Tits McGee.
We do.
I want to thank Wee for her contribution towards our legal fund, and thank everyone for being here. Any closing words before I send us
Thank you,
out?
Six Up. More toward the legal fund.
And
I gather it's a fashion. Everybody currently has a legal fund. All that's happened from this threat of legal action is that more people are GoFundMeing a load of money for a legal action that's not even happening yet.
We love you too, Tits. We'll always have the best tits on the internet. Thank you for being a member for 14 months.
thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, y'all.
Good night. Stay safe out there. Six Up is marauding across the street.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.